Page 36, Aura Lee. It's moderato in common time, which is 4/4 time. You have a 1 with an MF and a 2 with a P. That tells you right there you're going to play at least the beginning twice. If you look over 4 measures, you'll see a repeat sign. That means we're going to play those measures again. In the second line, there is a fermata. It's a dot with a half circle over it. You can find it there. It's on a D. So I'm going to hold that note for 2 counts instead of 1 because I'm playing with a metronome. And when I'm playing with a metronome, I just double the value. As far as fingering goes, your hands will be moving around. Just follow the fingering they're telling you to do. It's fine. In the right hand, that first chord, you have a C and an F sharp. Right? And then 2 measures later, you got 3, a C, an E, and a G. Happens to be called a C chord. You're going to have to know that eventually. It is a 3-note chord, a triad built on C, every other note. It's very common. Then you've got to move up, 3rd finger on E. You don't have any time to do it, you'll do it fairly quickly. You have the pedal down, so that'll help you. It'll help carry the sound while you move up there. Second line, 3rd measure, you got to go back down. I recommend you put your 4th finger on the E. The first note, go all the way down here. Because you can stay in that position for the rest of the piece. Because you have a B. Yeah. That's what I recommend. It's up to you how you do it, I guess. The left hand is no biggie. You've got a G position down here. You know that. Then in the last measure of the first line, you got to go up to a C position. You have a C and a G. In the second line, first measure, it's a C and a G sharp. I recommend using the 2nd finger on the G sharp. A couple reasons for this. One is, in the next measure, you have a C and an A, and have it using that index finger to get you like that is common, and it helps a lot. Now on the 4th measure over, you have a choice. I don't care what you do, it's up to you. You have the D and the F sharp, and an A, and then back to D and F sharp. Then in the next to the last measure, you're going to go down with the little fingers on a G, and the thumbs up on an F. So you get 1 beat of rest to do that in. You'll have to practice that hand movement and the feel of getting your hand on the right notes. You don't have a lot of time. Okay. And then for the last measure, again, you have a choice. You can go 1 and 2, or 2 and 1. If you want, don't care. You can go 3 and 1. It's up to you what you do. You can go 3 and 2. I don't care what you do. You do practice these different. In some pieces, it's 1 fingering is better than another. In this piece, you have a choice. I would recommend maybe you play it through, and each time use a different fingering and try and get used to the fingerings. I see a crescendo starting at the last measure of the first line, and then a decrescendo and the next to the last measure going down to soft. I'm going to ignore those. You can do those on your own. I want to talk a little bit about the phrasing and the pedaling and all that junk. I'm throwing a lot at you, but so is the book. It's not my fault. It's their fault. No. The first 2 measures is 1 phrase. It's like 1 musical sentence. You're going to connect them. Then the next sentence is like an answer to that. It's another phrase. So you want a little bit of silence between those 2 sentences. So it's this. Okay? Then when you go on to the last measure, again, it's a new phrase. You want a little bit of silence. Now about the pedaling. I recommend you be very careful with the pedal. Right? We just don't haphazardly pedal, whatever. You do it deliberately and only when you need to do it. Or when they're telling you to do it. the fourth measure of the first line. All right, you're going to push the pedal down right after you play the C in the left hand. You're going to play the chord in the right hand. If you're going to repeat it, then you'll lift the hand and the pedal at the same time and go on. You want a little bit of silence. Now, if you're going to go on to the last measure of the first line, there's a couple ways you can do this, and I recommend you try them both. You're going to play the fourth measure like I just told you to. Then, while the pedal is down, move your hands to the new position. The pedal keeps the sound going, and then right before you play the notes, lift the pedal up so we get silence. And you play the notes, and then you drop the pedal. So I'll demonstrate that again. It's 2, 3, 4. Now, the better way of doing it, and the way you need to learn eventually, is you will lift the hands and the pedal at the same time in that fourth measure, and very quickly move the hands where they go, play the note, and then push the pedal down. So it's this way. Of course, you have to look down at the keys when you do that to see where you're moving your hands to. That's fine. That's not a problem. So I would recommend you get accustomed to being able to do that eventually. Now the pedal for the second line there at the beginning, that's an overlapping pedal. It's connected, it's smooth, it's got those little thingies in it. So now we're going to play the last measure of the first line. Don't play it. Listen, watch, I'm doing it. So here. Then when I play right after I play the notes in the next measure, I'm going to lift the pedal up and put it right back down. Again. One more time. Okay. And then at the end of that measure, I can lift it up and the hands at the same time. The idea is with the overlapping, it's all smooth. Okay. Now we have another little problem there, and between the third and fourth measures of the second line, you got to move your right hand down. You're moving it down quite a ways. Again, you're up here for the third measure. You're here. You got to go down to here, and I recommend fourth finger on the E. So there's a little bit of silence between the measures because it's a different phrase. All right. You take a moment, take that silence, that split second, and use that to move your hand down. You're fine. You're here. 2, 3, 4. Okay, then the pedal and the hands come up at the same time, and you're there. If you can't do that, then you have to lift the right hand up sooner and let the pedal keep it going until you have time to get down there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do that too for now, but don't make a habit of that. For now you're learning, you can do it. Later on, don't do it. Say the first time through the book, you do it. So let's try this out. There's no pedal in this. It's in common time, so I'll give you 4 counts. Hands. The left hand is in here, G. The right hand is here. That's where it is. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat. Four.